Beard.
From the Fans Talk Podcast family at fanstalkpodcast.com, this is episode 269 of Fans Talk Pro Wrestling. And tonight, we're going to talk WWE Elimination Chamber, the future of Kevin Owens, plus TNA has a show on Wednesday this week, as does ROH, Lucha Underground, and NXT. Since when was Wednesday a wrestling night?
69.
With us tonight is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
69.
And Nick.
This is a family podcast, you son of a bitch.
Thank you, everyone, for downloading or streaming the show. If you could, take a moment, go to fanstalkpodcast.com, click the big green button. That will take you to our Patreon account. You can also go to patreon.com/fanstalk and pledge a few dollars a month our way. It's the most direct way that you can tell us that you appreciate the conversation that we have with you each and every week. Okay. Let's get right into the Elimination Chamber talk. It happened. What'd you guys think?
This was a solid pay-per-view.
I agree. It had a really strong start. If it was a wrestler, it definitely got gassed towards the end, but yeah, still solid, I think.
Yeah. Highlight of the night definitely was John Cena versus Kevin Owens.
No arguments there. By far, best match that we got all night. Could easily be up in consideration for match of the year, I think.
Yeah, strong contender.
If that didn't get 5 stars, I don't know what would.
One of them would have, or at least one of them would have had to been Japanese.
Oh, that's true.
Whoa, whoa,
Next time, John Cena. Okay, here's your results. Neville defeated Bo Dallas. Kevin Owens defeated John Cena cleanly. Nikki retained the Divas Championship. The New Day retained the Tag Team Championships. Ryback is your new Intercontinental Champion, and Seth Rollins retained the WWE Championship.
Yep.
So, okay. So we talked a little bit about Kevin Owens versus John Cena. Obviously, match of the night for a lot of people. What was the next favorite match for you guys?
For me, it would be the Tag Team Chamber match. I just enjoyed that, although there were a few spots that had me scratching my head, like Kalisto scaling to the top of the cage and hanging up there.
Yeah,
and everybody got underneath him so that he could just flop.
Yeah, and then he hung for a little bit longer, and then just dropped. Yeah, I think that was the lamest bit. I think the one comment we got on Facebook, on the Facebook page, I forget who posted it. Sorry about that, but basically said, it was a shame that Natty wasn't able to enter the pod, because we saw all 3 members of the New Day. We saw El Torito get involved, but for some reason Natty had to stay on the outside. She's good enough for an interspecies match, but not a chamber match.
That was Sean Rock, by the way. I just happened to read that before the show started.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, I did make the joke going into that match that all the extra people associated with it should follow Torito's example and climb up on top of the pod.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that makes sense. The interspecies thing was a joke match, sure, but it was supposed to be Torito paired off with Natty. And, yeah, to have Natty included in this match in anything remotely like an official capacity, yeah, it would have been cool, but it's the WWE. They're not going to have the guys lay hands on women. So, I mean, it makes sense from that perspective. As far as the Kalisto spot went, it was obvious from the way he was swinging back and forth that he was going for some kind of flip or a senton or something. But yeah, a whole bunch of guys got underneath him, but they weren't getting ready to catch him. They were having the little scrum. And if I'm going to be doing something crazy from that angle, I want to be damn sure somebody catches me. And at least half the guys that got under there were nowhere near Kalisto when he fell. Like, Connor didn't even make contact when he went down. So Kalisto just seemed out of place for most of the spots like that. Or not Kalisto, but the other guy.
Sin Cara?
No. anytime Kalisto had a spot, the other guy that was supposed to take the hit wasn't ready.
Yeah, I thought you meant Sin Cara too.
No. I know who Sin Cara is. Yeah, it's between this and the IC title match, it just seems like there's a reason the Elimination Chamber got retired. Nobody seems to do well in those.
Yeah, and I mean overall, to me it seemed like Kalisto like looked gassed, like he had spent so much time wasting time, climbing the cage and then just hanging there for as long as he did. It almost looked like he was just too tired to really do anything. So
I want to know if he actually attempted to climb the cage before the show, because that would have pointed out a whole heck of a lot for him. Like, crap, I need to have a lot of energy, or this is the best method in which to climb said cage.
I'm sure he did.
I'm not sure about that.
I mean, he's small anyway, so it's not like a case of homicide trying to climb out of the Steel Asylum. Yeah, he clearly didn't take that much time and effort to climb the thing, and when we saw it.
Yeah. It was just the hanging there bit that seemed like he was getting tired of just being up there.
I think he was getting second thoughts about doing that, whatever he had initially planned. Because like I said, nobody really seemed focused on catching him. And I've seen other people say that they saw him hit his head and he might have been loopy going forward from that spot. So, I mean, it would explain things.
Sure. Yeah, I mean...
the spot that was enacted was kind of loopy. I think he probably hit his head before then.
I thought this was the second match of the night as well. Just everything about it except for that bit I thought was good. As far as like PTP got a halfway decent push, the Ascension got some opportunity to really show their dominance, which I thought was much needed, to really show that they were, legit contenders here. New Day were, they were fantastic. Cesaro and Kid, again, fantastic. So yeah, I thought overall this was a great match. The other chamber match though, was just so awkward. It was so awkward and weird. There was a lot of everyone just standing around talking, just waiting much longer than normal, to hit moves or anything like that. So, you had your Sheamus bit, which after the fact, it was pretty obvious that it was storyline based, that he couldn't get out of that cell, or at least that's how they
salvaged it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, after he pulled that pin out, it to me, it made sense. But
somebody said, and I hadn't gone back to look at it, that it was, he had put his cross.
Yeah.
He usually keeps around his neck. And that's what he was actually wedging the door shut because he stuck it in the lock or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that spot was planned from the get-go. But Mark Henry, that glass getting knocked out.
No, that was not planned.
The thin sheet of plastic.
A box of the highest order.
Yeah.
And everything from there seems to be where the problem started. Mark Henry did not have a good night at all.
I mean, it was good to see him back. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Sure, but I mean, he gets in at the proverbial last second, and then he's pretty much forced to get into the match well before he probably was supposed to. And it was very obvious Dolph Ziggler was trying to salvage the situation by basically calling the match for everybody. So, yeah,
which was also really loud and obvious.
Yeah, that was right up there with Cena calling the match.
I was going to say that was on Cena levels.
Yeah, but overall though, what about Ryback? Are you guys happy that Ryback got the nod?
To an extent, I'm happy. The follow-up to that on Raw, I wasn't exactly pleased with.
No.
You mean the Big Show?
Yeah, that the Big Show is getting involved here. Right.
Any momentum that Ryback had is just going to be deflated because it's Big Show and no one gives a shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he comes back and his go-to move is to knock out The Miz. But that punch came nowhere near landing on its mark. He just completely whiffed it. And to Miz's credit, he sold it like a champ. But that was sad to watch in retrospect.
That was nipple level. I watched the animated what is it, Joe? GIF?
What?
The GIF?
GIF.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's a GIF. You say GIF, I'll come to your house next weekend and I will punch you in the face.
Yeah, I saw the animated GIF on Reddit about an hour ago. Yeah, it was cool. But
I mean, as far as Ryback goes as IC champ, I wasn't happy that it wasn't Sheamus because I think Sheamus can do more with it right now. But if you had to pick anybody else from that match, Ryback was the next most sensible choice to me. Well, and that post match promo with Daniel Bryan, that was a really nice spot. So that definitely made up for it in my eyes.
Agreed. Yeah, Joe, you and I, we both picked Rusev to win this match. Rusev obviously hurt, so, and I'm not going to ask you, Nick, because you obviously went with Sheamus, but Joe, do you think that Ryback got the nod because Rusev got hurt, or do you think that was the plan all along?
I definitely don't think it was a plan all along. If it was, they definitely surprised everybody. It's going to be interesting to see what they have coming down the pipe to really fill the story in after Big Show, because Big Show is obviously, you know what? No, nothing is. It was completely a last minute change because freaking Big Show. Why else would you have Big Show involved in the storyline? That's like, crap. What we want to do isn't going to work. We need somebody big. Fuck, call Big Show. He's doing nothing.
Wait, when he first came out on Raw, and he knocked out Miz, I thought, oh, face turn.
Somebody posted online a calendar, or a timeline, and it's when he every time he turns, and there's a section. I'll see if I can find it, because there's a section that's like confused and perturbed Big Show for like a short time.
I'm pretty sure if Rusev had been healthy and he did win the IC title, I'm pretty sure his first opponent would have been face Big Show.
No.
The exact same logic with Big Show versus Ryback applies with Rusev versus Big Show.
Well, Big Show still...
Rusev versus Ryback?
I think he did. But Big Show is still in the Authority, isn't he? I mean, he hasn't been appearing with them, but there was no, like, write-off, was there? Did I miss that?
There wasn't, like, an official giant blowout, but the last thing we saw was Kane and Big Show were really on the outs. So I would assume that Big Show is not with the Authority right now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember them writing him off. But I can't see Big Show going after Rusev. I mean, we already saw that, right? Big Show was fighting for America because Mark Henry couldn't do it or something like that, or maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah, it was Swagger, then Henry, then Big Show, then Swagger again, and then Cena.
Yeah.
But then again, we got a lot of repeat opponents for Rusev, so.
All right, well, the live chat is saying that they cannot see Rusev as the first choice to win the match. Robert saying that was the plan all along, to go with Ryback. I'm okay with it regardless. I think Ryback is a good choice. I just didn't go with Ryback because I didn't believe that the company would have gone with him. He didn't seem like the right choice. Like, to me, it was either Rusev or Sheamus. No one else in this list seemed to be at that level at the time. So, but I think Ryback is an awesome choice. I'm glad he finally got an opportunity to hold a singles title. I mean, he's been here for 3-4 years now, and yeah, they haven't really done a whole lot with him that's been beneficial for that character. So yeah, I think this is cool. This is very cool. So the problem though is, yeah, now his feud is with Big Show. I really can't see anything beneficial coming out of that, because all we want is for this feud to be over. We don't care about Big Show, but I don't know. Maybe my nephew cares about Big Show, or thinks that Big Show is a big threat or something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, at least Big Show won't sandbag Ryback for the shell shock the way Tensai did.
Yeah. All right. So Seth Rollins is still your WWE champion, but Dean Ambrose did win the match temporarily. Biggest pop of the night, I think, outside of Kevin Owens. But yeah, unanimous overall. Dean Ambrose winning the title. The crowd was completely behind him. Do you think that was WWE's test to see what kind of reaction that Dean Ambrose would have received, or where do you think this is going? Do you think Dean Ambrose has a chance to really take the title home coming up at Money in the Bank?
That does make a lot of sense. Personally, I was pretty much completely surprised when Ambrose got the pinfall. It just seemed like he was a replacement while Reigns was sitting on the back burner for a minute, just to build up a little more credibility after losing. That walkout with the title, even though the decision was technically reversed in Rollins' favor, that moment where he was walking out with Reigns and he talked about champ buys the beers, that felt very Austin-esque to me. And it makes me wonder if that's the direction they're trying to push him. Like maybe Reigns is supposed to be the next Rock and Ambrose is his Steve Austin.
Well, and the commentary team continued to throw out that phraseology as far as comparing Ambrose to Stone Cold. I don't know if I see it. I mean, similarities for sure, but I don't know if I would necessarily compare Dean Ambrose to Stone Cold.
That one's a tough sell to me. I get where it's coming from, but I think we still need time right now. I mean, it's just the kind of kooky story right now. It fits the character right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're necessarily rebuilding him to be an Austin.
Yeah, and real quick, Beanbag's thrown out that he's more Pillman than Austin, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to repackage him into Austin 2.0 in anything resembling a literal sense, but just that vibe where he's unpredictable, anti-authority, and you really could see him going one way or another, or another. I think if you go in that direction, you've really got to drop the wacky psycho shtick. If you're going to keep that unhinged angle, you've got to serious it up.
I can see that.
Okay. Well, anything else at the pay-per-view worth talking about? We had the Divas Championship match. We had Bo Dallas versus Neville. There was the Daniel Bryan interview with Miz TV.
I really don't understand the decision for the Divas title, especially, well, I'll just say Nikki doesn't make sense going forward, especially with what they did on Raw. And for Naomi to take the pin after all the work that she's been doing to build herself up with the heel push she's been getting, and then she keeps losing and she takes the pin in this match. She has to spend quite a bit of time off TV just to get all that out of the public eye for the audience to forget it and try and come back as a serious contender. They just basically stopped all momentum for her right there.
Man, what WWE does well for me is they build divas enough that you start to want to back them and get into them. So Tamina is a good example of this. Natty is a good example of this. Naomi right now is a good example of this, where they actually gave them time to develop a character and a style that you could totally get into. And then, it's the booking that continues to kill them. It continues to make them look like they can't do anything, like they're not credible in the ring. And it's a shame. It's a shame because they aren't doing what they need to do to build stars. I mean, we've gone on record, just as pretty much everyone else on the internet has, comparing how they treat the divas versus how they treat the divas down in NXT. NXT tries to build stars, and it seems like for whatever reason WWE does the exact opposite. They build them up enough for you to give a shit, and then they trash them. And that's exactly what we're getting with Naomi right now.
Yeah, they definitely just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
The situation right now in the Divas division is what we had a few years back with Cena and Orton dominating the upper card. It's nothing but the Bellas right now. You've got Paige as the obvious crowd favorite, opposed to them. And before, last year, we had AJ too. But I don't know, despite the fact that Paige is a 2-time Divas champion, I don't know what it'll take for them to take the Bellas off that pedestal and let other divas have their time. Like, legitimately have their time and have that sort of push that the Bellas have.
They would need to lose Cena and lose Daniel Bryan.
See, I don't even think that's the answer. I think the Bellas have that spot regardless of who they're married to or who they're hooking up with. The Bellas had that spot pretty much even before those relationships started forming, or at least Nikki and Cena.
Do you think they joined the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club and met the genetic jackhammer?
I think Vince would have broken a hip. I think we would have heard about that.
Is that when he went into the ring and sat down? Like he tore a quad?
Okay, Beanbags is about to make me angry. In the chat, he says that Nikki won't lose the title until she beats AJ Lee's record. What do you guys think about that idea?
I highly doubt that. I started to get a little bit angry when they said that Nikki was the longest current reigning champion, and the language here confused me because I thought they were saying that she had broken AJ's record, but no, out of all the champions we have right now, she's the longest reigning among them.
Right.
I don't think they would definitely give her that push, but with all the talent coming up right now, I don't see that happening.
I don't know. I don't know because, I don't know what AJ Lee's streak was. Hold on a second. I've got Wikipedia open. I think AJ Lee held it for 295 days. And as it stands right now, Nikki Bella is at 191. So it's not completely out of the question for her to hold the title for another 100 days.
It's definitely a possibility.
I don't think it is booking wise because Paige is the only serious contender right now. And I don't think you can really build up somebody else in that time to be an acceptable alternative to either Nikki or Paige. Like, even if you brought up somebody from NXT, yeah, we like them. We know they're amazing wrestlers. And the WWE audience as a whole is starting to get familiar with them. But, I mean, what would it say about a Divas champion that is close to breaking the all-time record? What would it say about them if a quote-unquote rookie came up and knocked her off the pedestal to take the title? I just don't think that would work.
You mean like Paige taking the title off AJ?
Beat me to it.
I guess Paige was different, I think. Her character was different. She had all this buzz surrounding her. Sasha and Becky and Charlotte have that kind of buzz, but to take down Nikki, as opposed to AJ, who definitely was not in the company's good graces, I think it's two different cases.
It's definitely two completely different scenarios. You're right. You're right. At the same time, though, I could definitely see Charlotte having the best chance to do that just because of her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name Charlotte really... Oh, you meant her last name.
Yeah, her last name.
Oh, never mind.
All right, well, okay, cool.
Yay, sarcasm.
Glad we spent that long talking about the Divas.
Hey, it's more time than they get on TV.
Yeah. I actually didn't look at the time that they devoted to the Divas.
It was at least 5 minutes.
You think? Joe, what do you think? You think they got 5 minutes?
On Raw? Or on the pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view? I think they did. I think they did just over. Just over?
And what do you say, Nick? You're saying just 5?
At least 5.
All right. Joe wins closest without going over. They got 6 minutes, according to Wikipedia.
Did somebody say 6 minutes? At least Garvin gets the reference.
I do. And
no, I get the 3-minute warning reference.
And they
were you even alive when 3-minute warning was a thing?
No, I wasn't, but I've heard of it since then because Eric Bischoff is a dick and he has to get his name out there.
They almost had as much time as Stardust versus Zack Ryder, which got 6 minutes and 12 seconds. So.
And really, anybody who thought Zack Ryder was possibly getting a push out of the celebrity entourage deal,
right?
There you go. He got
a longer match than a Divas match. That's the beginnings of a push.
Well, I think you know what it must be because he actually was on a card to some extent.
True. All right, cool. Well, Daniel Bryan obviously had the two two big moments of the night. The first was in the kickoff when he basically made it clear that he would be back as a competitor in WWE, and then handing the title over to Ryback, getting that feel good moment with Ryback as your new champion. Thoughts though? Why don't we get more Daniel Bryan on TV every week? Like, can they just not find a good role for him? Because I think just having him talk is good.
I think the problem is kind of they don't want him to get stale, and since he can't wrestle. It's kind of the reaction my wife gave me when Raw goes to commercial and they do the 5-hour energy commercial where he's at the gym.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I have one of those? No. Just kidding. Yes. And the guy's like, yes. Yeah. And my wife looks at me and goes, really? That's what he's doing. That's what he's relegated to. And I'm like, yep. And I think they're trying to avoid that reaction.
I think the only thing they're really trying to avoid is the question of when are you coming back? When are you coming back? No, seriously, when are you coming back? You said you were coming back, but when? And if we kept seeing him and that question was never addressed, that would just drive the IWC nuts. I think that's what they're really trying to avoid, and we are going to be getting him on Tough Enough. So
that is a good point, Nick, that we've got that Tough Enough factor. I didn't think about that. And we'll get enough of them there, I think.
I think it would be good once Tough Enough is over, if he's still not ready to come back. So whatever that is, like, when does Tough Enough start? July? June?
I think September.
Oh, really? Dang. Well, okay, so say he's not back in time for Royal Rumble, which I'm assuming is right around the time Tough Enough season ends. I think I would love to see him on commentary, because you can easily transition him from the commentary table to a wrestler once he's ready. But that still puts him on TV, and I think, to me, that would be the best role for him if they're going to do anything with him.
Sure, I can see that.
Let's see. It'll premiere on the 23rd of June.
Okay, I was right. Oh, good.
Yeah, I thought it had to be relatively soon because they're hyping the shit out of that app.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they did put out that app, so it's got to be close.
Yeah.
I downloaded it. I haven't opened it yet.
I have not downloaded it. What about him doing pre-shows?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, if you really need to put him on camera in a role that probably won't affect anything else, or won't have people asking for a storyline thing. But I don't know. To me, that's relegated to guys who will never be back in the ring.
Yeah, that's been the trend of late. I mean, personally, I wouldn't miss Byron Saxton at all if he got replaced with Daniel Bryan. But yeah, I think that would be a good role for him, especially since you'll have that Tough Enough bond with Booker T.
What about a manager?
No, because people know that he still could wrestle. He's got the ability to. They're going to want to see him do stuff. They're still going to want him to take bumps. It's too soon for that. I think if he retired and was gone for a couple of years, he could come back maybe as a manager to give us some of that separation, but I think it's too soon.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go over the picks. Every pay-per-view, we pick every match that's available. This time around, we had 6 matches available. The only ones that we did not pick. I think
it was just a pre-show match we didn't pick.
We did not pick the pre-show match. Yeah, that was it. So 6 matches. I had the worst record with 2 correct picks, and Joe and Nick tied with 4 correct picks.
Woo woo woo.
So
yeah, and it was all the same matches.
Yeah. Yep. So that serves me right for picking John Cena and Bo Dallas. I really thought that they might try to do something with that guy.
No.
And then on Raw, we got the same stuff. I don't know. It's just like, why have a character like that you've devoted time to not have him do anything? No. Bo Dallas.
I know, I was being a dick.
I mean, Ryder's getting a little bit of a push now, so you need somebody to job for everybody else.
All right, so that takes our record to I have 16 correct picks out of 36, so I'm batting straight 4s. Joe has 58% correct, And this is all since WrestleMania 31, or actually including WrestleMania 31. And Nick has 66.7%. So,
yeah, I mean, the thing that separates Nick and I are 3 matches.
Correct.
So I could close this gap.
true. I could too. I
don't think so.
Less than eight matches, man. That's an NXT and TNA show.
Nah.
All right, so we've got Money in the Bank coming up. We're going to be previewing it next week on FTPW270. So far, only 3 official matches. That's Kevin Owens versus John Cena, the Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE World Championship briefcase. So far, we've got Kofi, Dolph, Sheamus, Roman Reigns, Neville, and Randy Orton involved. I don't remember how many people are normally involved in those, but apparently it's more than 6.
I didn't think so.
The way WWE is promoting it on the website and how they spoke about it on Raw,
It's 6 to 8.
it's these are the first 6.
Yeah, there's probably a couple more.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder if they're just going to have another ladder match.
For what? Oh, they
IC
are
title?
having they are
They're
having
having-
another ladder match.
Yeah, the main event.
Seth
Well,
Rollins versus Dean Ambrose is a ladder match.
I meant another Money in the Bank match.
No, because once Roman Reigns wins, he's going to cash in after Seth Rollins wins it. Since Seth Rollins wins it, and then Reigns will walk out.
Or will Reigns cash in when Dean Ambrose wins it?
No.
Or will Reigns pull a Cena, cash in, and call it spot and make it a triple threat?
Or will Bo Dallas destroy Neville in their next match and then enter himself in the Money in the Bank and then cash in on Seth Rollins to win?
No.
Will
because
Eric Rowan
Hornswoggle-
destroy somebody on their way to the ring and take his spot?
Hornswoggle's going to destroy them all, get the briefcase, and then he's going to cash in.
No, Hornswoggle enters riding El Torito's shoulders, and they're wearing a long trench coat, so everybody thinks it's one guy.
And they're painted like the Boogeyman.
Of course, yeah.
Wait, who would be on top?
Hornswoggle.
Are you sure?
Natty.
Nobody would buy a bull that tall walking on 2 legs.
I would think that Hornswoggle would have to be on the bottom.
I don't think so. Because we need more of that face, the reactive face, and that's what Hornswoggle's got. It would take them way too long. It would look like Vince McMahon walking down to the ring if Hornswoggle was on the bottom. They'd be swinging left and right, all willy-nilly.
It would be awkward for sure, but he's got, I think like the better balance with him being on bottom.
I don't think so, because you're really, with Torito being taller, it's going to be more like you have a pivot, like a stick, and the pivot point is going to be near the bottom. You're only going to have a short stint, and think of a weight on top, and it sways back and forth. You want that pivot point in the middle so that it's more controlled. You have a more stable bottom.
I'm imagining the moonsault off the ladder with the Hornswoggle Torito combo.
I love it. It would almost be like the bending where the feet touch the hands. This bends right in half backwards.
Oh man!
He gets speared, and they just both spill out of the coat.
No,
Oh my God, he's broken in half.
because Hornswoggle's on top, he jumps.
Yeah, he jumps.
He goes
and
right through.
Roman Reigns just goes right through, and that'd be great.
I think we're gonna kill Garvin with this.
That'd be awesome. All right. So here's the rumored matches. Well, not necessarily rumored. Well, okay, there's one rumored match, and that is Stardust versus the dude who plays the Arrow.
Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
Amell did straight up refute that, saying that there are no plans for that.
Good.
I can completely see Amell managing Ryder.
Suppose they do require a rematch, don't they? Man, that's so dumb. And then the other one that seems pretty obvious right now is Ryback versus Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. I think if they're going to do anything, if they're going to try and make it a feud, I think Big Show's going to win. It's not like he hasn't been IC champ before.
Yeah, but would they take the belt right off of Ryback 2 weeks after he won it?
Yep.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't want them to either.
That guy can be a legit star if they actually let him win some matches.
Question regarding the Owens Cena match. Do you guys think they'll add the stipulation with titles?
No.
Do you think they ever would? Like if Cena wins this one and they're batting 50-50, the rubber match is loser drops their belt?
No.
I could see it as long as it's not loser, like as long as it's not championship versus championship kind of thing where there's potential for John Cena to be your NXT champion.
Oh God.
But if it's just to force Owens to drop the title because no one can defeat him in NXT, I would be okay with that. But I don't know if they need to go that route, considering they've got Samoa Joe there now. You've got Finn Balor. I mean, there's plenty of guys that with the right opportunity could take the title off of them.
Mm-hmm.
But
you mentioned Joe. That introduces a new wrinkle because Joe's already wrestling main roster shows. I can't remember if it was a house show or if it was actually a taping for one of the televised shows.
I think it was just
like
a dark match. Yeah, you're talking about the one against Tyson Kidd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just a dark match.
Given that accelerated timetable and the fact that he's apparently signed a full-time WWE contract now, do you think we would see Joe enter into that scenario at all?
The NXT Championship scenario?
No, like Owens versus Cena. Like, would he fight either one on the main roster?
I think he'd move up to the roster shortly after destroying and like maybe getting the title in NXT and then losing it like a triple threat match or something like that, and then move because somebody interferes from the main roster, which could be Owens.
I'm not ready to think about Samoa Joe on the main roster yet.
I think you're going to need to pretty soon because he's moving fast.
I don't know if that's
for a
accurate.
big guy, that's impressive.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know if that's the way we should read into this. I think, to me, if he's just got a full-time deal, I think he'll still spend time in NXT. I can't see him just showing up on NXT and then moving right to the main roster.
And they did say they were rewriting history with that deal that he had. So at this point, I think anything's possible.
Rewriting history with the deal.
Or
what do you mean?
I think he's probably the
just the
highest paid NXT guy.
At one point before he signed the full-time deal, he was able to wrestle NXT and Indies.
Yeah.
Still
now,
is.
Yeah. And now that he signed the full-time contract, who really knows what that entails?
I read a report that he can still work dates.
But what about
at least to finish out his commitments that he's already made?
I think the only issue with that is now that ROH has a TV deal, like an actual national TV deal. I think that'll probably end soon if he realistically signed a full-time deal with WWE. I can't see him being on both shows.
His work with ROH or his work with WWE would end? His
work with ROH.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just allowing him to work these things he's already agreed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was already established that he wouldn't be working any televised matches for ROH.
Okay, cool.
One of the independent dates that Joe will be finishing up with is AIW, who just announced Joe for their Absolution show on July 10th in Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
Are you going to that, Garvin?
When is it?
July 10th.
I might. Send me an email. Make sure I remember to do that. All right. So, yeah, overall, I don't know, dude. I'm not ready for Samoa Joe to go to the main roster. I want to see what Kevin Owens can do. I want to see what Joe can do in NXT. I think he is a great guy to have on the main roster. I'm sorry, great guy to have at the top of NXT going up against, a Finn Balor, even a Tyler Breeze, guys like that, especially since Hideo Itami is out with injury. Sami Zayn is out, so you need another big name there to really help push those guys, especially a veteran guy like Samoa Joe. So, yeah, I don't know. I would rather see him spend a few months in NXT first, but that's me. Okay, cool. So, we also had, as far as in WWE land, we had Paul Heyman appearing on the Stone Cold podcast. Was there any worthwhile notes that you guys took from that?
I have 10 minutes left of it to watch. That being said, That being said, I didn't find anything in it that I didn't already know.
Yeah, because you missed the last 10 minutes.
I know. In the last 10 minutes, I know what happens in the last 10 minutes where Austin says he's going to kick Brock Lesnar's ass.
Well,
could kick Brock Lesnar's
ass.
That
took an interesting turn. Nick, who is that your only note? Is the end?
It is the end, the last 10 minutes, but not the WrestleMania 32 quote unquote rumor, which I think is just Austin just playing to the crowd. Easily the most entertaining part for me was the story of Paul Heyman being blackballed in Charlotte from ever renting a car again because the road war between the Samoan SWAT team and the Steiner brothers. That was an amazing story.
Yeah. Definitely check that out. If you haven't listened already, it was an okay interview. I think like the last 20 minutes for sure is when they really started to tell good stories. The rest was kind of boring, but I actually found it really interesting that, like quite a few of those famous photos of Vincent Senior with like Andre the Giant and a lot of the other big names. All those photos were taken by Paul Heyman, like when he was 14, 15 years old. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Paul Heyman was hilarious to see.
Yeah. But yeah, the end. Joe, I'm sorry, we're gonna go ahead and spoil it for you. But I
already read spoilers.
Basically, in the last like 3 minutes, Paul Heyman, he turned the tables on Stone Cold, asked Stone Cold a question, and that was if he would face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32, and that's when it took like an interesting turn because Stone Cold, like, there was no more blinking. It was just like Stone Cold promo mode and just went off on Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar. And yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this interaction. Definitely felt, not legit, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, Austin wants a Texas death match. That's never going to happen in WWE.
Well, but the logic makes sense, The
logic, yeah, but yeah, I mean, Texas death matches are banned, so I doubt that would happen.
Well, but really, what is a death match? Because we just saw a death match on this last week's Lucha Underground, and it was very tame. And let's be honest, this PG era WWE a death match is just a Falls Count Anywhere match that has to end in a ring.
Does it have street fight implications where they can't wear their ring gear? They have to wear street clothes?
Probably.
See, you talk about that death match in Lucha Underground being tame and how death matches aren't death matches anymore, but it was either last year or the year before where James Storm had a Florida death match, and that got pretty grisly.
But that's TNA.
Yeah. I mean, death matches are still death matches. They're still hardcore. There's still going to be blood. And that's why you're not going to see it in the WWE. You're never going to see the words death match on any kind of WWE programming except for the old archive stuff.
That's true. That term, death match, yes, we probably won't see that, but they could handle a hardcore rules match, a no disqualification match.
We would get like a TLC match, and Lesnar would open himself up by throwing himself into the corner. And God knows how much you get fined for that.
I was going to say, we see blood no matter what because Brock Lesnar always bleeds. Beanbags is saying in the live chat that a Texas death match is just an answer the 10 count match. I don't know how legit that is.
I would assume that it's
last man standing.
Yeah. Well, all those matches are all the same. Yeah, all those matches are all the same anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, weapons would be allowed. It's not just a false count anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt it'll ever happen. I think that's just the bottom line because I said so.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would happen either. But I don't know. Never say never in WWE.
Only as far as debuts.
All right. Well, that was your week in review for WWE. What about, let's go outside of WWE. We had some TNA stuff happen this week. Obviously, big news, still on the top of everyone's mind is ROH joining Destination America. We talked a bit about it last week, primarily in our uncut, conversation, but we'll bring a little bit of that in here onto today's free portion of the show. We got a little bit more time left. But let's start off with TNA first. We need to send our condolences to the podcast world. David and Claudia, good friends David Gilbert and Claudia, the Talk TNA podcast, shut their doors this week. No more TNA podcast because primarily Claudia was just done with the drama. David didn't want to do a solo show. So I don't know. That seems to be the general vibe around people covering TNA as of late. It's just every day there's new drama surrounding what TNA is doing, what TNA is saying. Everyone who had been supporting them seems to be dropping like flies.
I mean, if we only knew someone who might be in that same time zone who liked wrestling, who might be able to...
maybe... TNA at least.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So, hopefully that means that there are people that are looking for TNA content and somehow find us. That'd be really nice, but we'll see.
Very they will, Gilberts.
By the way, fanstalktna.com. Okay, so... Nick, walk us through the upcoming card this week. This is the first Wednesday show for TNA. They just moved to Wednesdays. They're going to be airing from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern on Destination America with the 1 hour lead-in from ROH. But what are we coming to expect, Nick?
All right, we are going to be getting Rockstar Spud making his decision regarding Option C. For those that are not familiar, that is the decision to cash in the X Division title, sort of like a Money in the Bank kind of deal, and get a shot at the world title. Every year this has happened previously, that option has been exercised. Austin Aries made it work the first time, and it has failed every time since. So, I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm hoping this doesn't happen. I'm hoping he holds on to the X Division belt and cements himself as a champ.
I would love for him to not cash it in because that's been the option every time since, like you said. I would really, if he does do it, I fully expect that David Arquette is in his corner. Because if you're going to do something like that, you need something stupid to happen. Not that Spud wouldn't deserve it at some point.
Yeah, he's definitely a hard worker.
He is, and I'm not trying to discount him. I'm going character-wise. I'm going kayfabe here. As much as we generally do on this show anyway. But, yeah, you need something, and then have Arquette help him win. If he's going to cash it for Spud to do it and have David Arquette help him win, that would be hilariously terrible, and then you could work from there. But, no, I think you're right, Nick. I think him not trading it in for Option C is probably the best move. So,
yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't want to see that. I really hope he doesn't. Just based on we've seen it every time. I want to see something different. I want to see the X Division made to look important again.
All right, so next up on TNA's card for this Wednesday is Eric Young versus Lashley. This is not being booked as a number one contenders match or anything of the sort. It's just a settlement of bad blood. Eric Young was a guy to take Lashley out some weeks back, and Lashley is hungry for revenge. So, any thoughts on that matchup?
Well, it shouldn't be the number one contenders spot because I already have a number one contender, and that is EC3.
That is correct, sir.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it'll be a pretty good match. I'm not going to predict a winner because honestly, I have no idea. They're both pretty strong, I think.
Are they? Lashley wins. Eric Young just quit. He just quit on TV last week. There's no way they have Eric Young go over.
Yeah, but he did get the last laugh over Lashley before now. So, that's got to be in Lashley's head a little bit, right?
Well, sure, but he had the last laugh over Angle the week before and still, quit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I think it'll be a good match.
Oh, definitely. It'll be a good match.
Yeah, next match on the card, 6-man tag, more BDC versus the Rising action. Apparently Homicide is still recovering from getting jumped at the bodega, as it is MVP, Loki, and Kenny King facing off against the Rising. I'm expecting more of the same, really.
Yeah. Are you over this?
Yeah, as it stands right now, there's got to be some pretty serious advancement in order for me to care about this angle right now. Which hopefully we'll get. But yeah, it's been the same for a while now, so I'm not getting my hopes up. Next up on the card is number 3 of the best of 5 series between the Wolves and the Dirty Heels. Do you think this will be a clean sweep, or do you think the Dirty Heels will get on the scoreboard?
I definitely think Dirty Heels are getting on the scoreboard. For doing a best of 5 and have it just be swept, that hurts. At least give them one.
Yeah, that's my opinion on the whole thing too. The only reason I could see the Dirty Heels getting swept is for non-kayfabe reasons, and that's if Aries decides not to renew his contract for whatever reason. Personally, I hope that's not the case, but yeah, I'm predicting the Dirty Heels will win this one.
Slammiversary is the 28th, right? Or 21st?
28th sounds right. Let's look that up.
Either way, we've got about 3 to 4 weeks left, or 3 to 4 more episodes of Impact before Slammiversary. Because of that, outside of what you just said, Nick, as far as the contract negotiations maybe not going through, but if they do, I see this going 5 matches because I can see the finals being at Slammiversary. That's the only real solution that makes sense to me as far as this whole thing. Because you've got a few things stand in your way. You've got there's no other tag teams, and EC3 is most likely going to get that title match at Slammiversary. So if it's EC3 versus Angle or whatever, you can't necessarily have Aries and Rude not in that title picture either, unless like there's something else going on with Eric Young or Lashley or I don't know. But yeah, that to me, if you're going to build a pay-per-view card, that tag match as like your final best of 5 match at Slammiversary would be fantastic.
Yeah, booking wise, that absolutely makes most sense. Just to confirm, Slammiversary is on the 28th. So if it does go the full 5, there's got to be at least 1 week where they don't have a match, which I think that works. I think to give the last 1 or 2 matches a little bit of breathing room just to make that special, make it its own thing. I think that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, number 3 should absolutely be one hell of a match.
Totally.
Okay, next match, knockouts match. Brooke Tessmacher versus Jade of the Dollhouse. This just looks to be a regular knockouts match. So who do you think comes out on top here?
Yawn.
I don't know. I think it'll be a decent match. Because Jade is absolutely a phenomenal wrestler, and Brooke's not too bad herself. I am expecting shenanigans though. At least Marty has to be ringside.
Yeah. And live chat saying Jade as well. I'd have to imagine Jade would get the win, or maybe Brooke wins via DQ after Marty gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Actually, I could easily see this lead up to like a 3-on-3 match for next week, where it's Dollhouse versus Brooke, Rebel, and Gail Kim, if Gail Kim can compete with a broken finger.
See, I was thinking Gail would be out for a little while because of that. I've been hearing that her finger is broken or her hand is broken.
They said on TV her finger was broken, but it's kind of hard to target one finger when you're stepping on their entire hand.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, I could definitely see where that would come down to the 6 knockout tag match. That would be pretty interesting, I think. Do you think Awesome Kong would be that 3rd knockout in Gail's place?
Well, wait, we said Brooke, Awesome Kong, and Gail.
And no, you said Brooke, Rebel, and Gail before.
No, live chat said Rebel. That was okay. Diva Jill. I could see Rebel.
Yeah, I mean,
if Gail can't go. Yeah,
because I want to say Brooke and Rebel did have a tag match against Marty and Jade. So yeah, there would definitely be ground for that. But yeah, any way it falls out could be interesting. As an additional knockout news, there will be a segment called Madison Rayne Uncensored. I'm imagining that just means she's coming out to talk. There's absolutely no explanation of it on the website, on Twitter, Facebook, anything. So
12-year-old me says naked, but
yeah.
If WWE's doing Jerry Springer too hot for TV on the network, then maybe they're going to do her uncensored on TNA.
Man, okay, so I did find a link to a story on divadirt.com, but now that I'm here, I can't find the word uncensored. So I think I got bait and switched. Diva's Dirt.
So hooray surprise segment. I guess we'll move on to the final item on the card then, and potentially the biggest one of the night. EC3 is officially next in line for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes.
He's not only number one contender, but it is official. He'll be next in line.
Finally, Mike Tenay got it right.
Yeah, there will be a celebration commemorating this momentous occasion, and we will all be witness to it, and there will be absolutely no shenanigans whatsoever.
Until Anderson comes out, because why
he
the
is
fuck
a sore loser.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so that's Wednesday Night Impact in a nutshell. Looks to be like a pretty good start.
This is going to be the first Impact that David has missed in like 3 years.
Yeah.
I bet he's going to watch it.
Probably.
I bet he's going to watch it. Yeah, that Eric Young versus Lashley match should be pretty cool. The tag team match should be good. EC3, I hope we don't get Anderson. I hope it's someone else stepping up. I just don't know who that would be.
I kind of expect it to be Angle, just to come out and warn him of what he's getting into.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that, but I can't imagine that they would have the match before Slammiversary, though. I mean, this is your Slammiversary main event, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Unless it just occurred to me, EC3's in line for the title. Rockstar Spud has option C in his back pocket. What if he decides to cash it in to face EC3?
I don't think it works that way. I mean, the story sounds cool. Like, if Spud cashed it in to face EC3 for the number one contendership so that he has the opportunity not only to get a title shot, but also to take EC3's streak and title shot, I think that's an awesome story.
No. I'm saying EC3 beats Angle and Spud goes after EC3.
Oh, okay. I thought we were still talking about before Slammiversary.
No. Like, I guess I'm saying EC3 and Spud would be Slammiversary main event.
Wow. Oh, shoot. Ishmael. No. I totally forgot. God bless it.
Oh, shit.
Aries has the briefcase.
He does.
Damn it.
Man. So that completely throws a monkey wrench into things.
That changes everything, because I totally forgot about that. So the Dirty Heels could lose, and he could still be put into the title mix. Oh,
yeah.
So what's being talked about in the live chat is the idea that what you're saying. EC3 wins, Rockstar Spud takes the title from him, then Austin Aries takes the title from Spud.
That would absolutely mean a return to heel for Aries, because that would be the biggest dick move.
I forgot that Aries had that. And he's got to use it before he leaves the company.
One would think, yeah.
But who says he wins?
Yeah, well, he didn't win last time. Okay, well, all right, so yeah, TNA, it's a good card, but I feel like I'm always questioning where they're going with a lot of things. Like, I wish we just had a pure Angle versus EC3 match. I think that would be an awesome match by itself. Clean finish, no interruptions. That would be awesome.
Yeah, completely. And you got to think, aside from that, as far as Wednesday night goes, you got to think there's got to be some kind of continuation of Storm, Magnus, and Mickie James as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good story as well. So, okay. Well, ROH is going to debut this week on Destination America. So that brings up the question of how it should be covered by us, if at all. So we've been kind of debating it internally, but I guess we should really ask you what you would like us to do. So The schedule is kind of weird. I think it airs on the Sinclair networks on Saturday, and then Destination America the following Wednesday. So what we see this week, it has actually already been shown for most ROH fans that watch it on Sinclair. And so theoretically, we've got 3 different options. Well, actually, we have 4 different options. So you guys let us know what you want to do, or maybe you have an idea of what you want us to do. But should we wait and talk about it on FTPW? So we would talk about it pretty much almost a week after it takes place. Or do we add it to the beginning of Fans Talk TNA, since it's basically the lead-in on the same channel, so it kind of makes sense. We're already watching it. Or does it require its own weekly series? Do you guys feel you would like to see Fans Talk ROH series? Or just ignore it like we have for the last 4 years anyways? Let us know. Definitely leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you guys listen. You guys know how to get a hold of us on the site as well. We've got comments for all episodes. You can post your comment there, or email. Send us an email, Twitter, whatever. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
About ROH? Not in particular.
No, just in general. Anything else happened in wrestling this week?
Trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to talk about. We covered GFW, right? Anything with them?
Well, okay, so the news out of GFW is that Jeff Jarrett will not be taking an on-screen role, or at least it'll be very minimal if he does. So obviously the fear for a lot of people was that Jeff Jarrett was going to be the first champion. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like he does not want to be a part of the in-ring stuff. He wants to be like the owner or general manager or something like that.
He wants to Jack Tunney this bitch.
Something like that. So, ultimately, I think that's a good move. That's a good call. That definitely squashes a lot of, my fear with it was that it was just going to be another Jarrett product, which, TNA, he was such a heavy part of that it got stale after a while. At least he could. So, speaking of Jeff Jarrett and GFW, our friends over at PW Pop, specifically Dan over at Shooting from the Hip, is doing a interview with Jeff Jarrett. I'm guessing it'll be released sometime this weekend. This weekend, yeah. Is it on Shooting from the Hip?
That I don't know. He just said it's being released this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be released this weekend. You can find it over on pwpop.com. I sent in a few questions for him to ask. I know other members from the other shows that take part in the whole PW Pop family sent in questions. So it should be pretty interesting. He really hasn't done a whole lot of interviews with podcasts, and someone that we're close to doing like an interview at that magnitude, I think is pretty cool. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. And live chats talking about NXT. We really don't have anything really to talk about as far as NXT goes, but yeah, there is the talk about Fans Talk NXT. Just to go back to the ROH conversation real quick. There was talked about doing a Fans Talk NXT series. That is still something that we would like to do, either a weekly or monthly. I think monthly would probably make more sense. But that is a Patreon milestone. So we need a little bit more motivation from you guys. If Fans Talk NXT is something that you would like to happen, help us out. Go over to patreon.com/Fans Talk and, send a few dollars our way. It's a monthly, Kickstarter type thing. So basically you pledge. If you pledge $1, you get early access to every episode of FTPW. We post it for you on Tuesday night instead of you having to wait until Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon to get it. If you pledge $5 or more, you get a special uncut episode of FTPW whenever we can do that. We released one last week. I think we did one the week before. It's just kind of like a post-show conversation that we have about stuff that we could not get in the main show. But yeah, there's other options out there too. You can take control over an episode every month if you're a Patreon subscriber at a certain amount. So definitely check it out. Patreon.com/fans talk. And all that money collectively is helping us pay some of our bills. So paying for the Mixler feed so that we can stream live every week for you guys, hosting on SoundCloud and the website so that we can continue to put this up without, falling behind on bills. All right. With that, let's go into win, fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here is your win.
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
Of the week. Joe, what was your win of the week?
Well, my win of the week is Owens over Cena. How can that not be? That was just, the match was amazing. The fact that Cena lost cleanly, it just, it's one of those moments you just mark out. It was fantastic.
Nick?
Yeah, I'll give my win to match number 2 of the Best of 5 series. That was absolutely a pay-per-view main event caliber match. And regardless of whether it goes 3 matches, 4 matches, 5 matches, any subsequent matches, it's going to be hard to top that one. Both teams, the Wolves and the Dirty Heels, outdid themselves. It's fantastic.
All right, some wins from the live chat. We got a win for Kevin Owens. The first death of a character in a wrestling storyline that happened on Lucha Underground. We talked a bit about that on this week's episode of Fans Talk Lucha, fanstalklucha.com for that feed. If you don't listen, definitely check it out. But yeah, there was a death scene from one of the characters, which is just really strange, but
holy shit.
Yeah, it was cool, but yeah, it takes you out of our normal wrestling realm for sure.
I have to wonder if that felt at all awkward with Pero Aguayo, because that was a little while ago, but they did have that that memorial for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't aired on TV, but they did release footage of it.
Yeah. I think what set this apart from that was that it happened outside of the ring. It was one of their backstage segment type things. So I think in that sense, it was probably a little bit more acceptable.
Gotcha.
Like if it happened in the ring, then yeah, that would be totally different. So
yeah, I really need to catch up on Lucha Underground.
You definitely do. Win of the week, Samoa Joe signing a full-time contract. We also got a win for Ryback getting the Intercontinental Championship. And my win of the week is going to go to just the entire Kevin Owens versus John Cena feud that they have going on. The build-up to Elimination Chamber, the Elimination Chamber match, and then what we got this week on Raw. As far as the in-ring segment, I thought was fantastic. So I like the back and forth work between these two guys, both in the ring and on the mic. So yeah, need more of that. That was pretty good stuff. Fails. What was your fail of the week, Joe? Joe,
you're muted.
Muted.
Damn it. Well, hey, I couldn't get through a week without doing that.
Hey, it's our show.
It's now a requirement to have a good show. My fail of the week is going to be Miz getting KO'd by Big Show. Didn't need it. That was, at least do something different. Choke slam him or
at least do the spot correctly.
Yeah, it's just, I wanted a little, if they're going to do it, give them a little bit of a fighting chance so it looks better. I don't know. I just didn't sit well with me.
Okay. Nick?
You know what? I'll give my fail to the Miz TV segment. Not anything that Miz and Daniel Bryan did, but the fact that they brought up the Mega Powers to quote unquote save Daniel Bryan. I don't know what I was really expecting, but I really want them to get away from Mandow now, I guess, against Miz. I really want them to just make that separation and make it stick. If they're going to have them as a legitimate tag team, I want them focusing on tag team stuff, not an old feud that really should have died a long time ago.
He is getting better at the Savage impression, though.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Not necessarily vocally, but like his mannerisms during the Sonic commercial.
Yeah, that was. I almost said that was good, but it was riding the line between good character and kind of creepy. Like, I felt a little dirty watching that, just watching them pose and ooh, yeah, ooh. It was borderline. I'm
gonna need a refill, brother.
The New Day completely won that segment, though.
Agreed.
Oh, incredibly, yes.
Milkshake.
All right. So some fails from the live chat. We got fail for Taryn Terrell breaking Gail Kim's fingers. Naomi not winning the title. Not enough Bull Dempsey. Nikki retaining and then returning to the default Bella Twin Magic strategy.
Shit, how is that not my fail? That was horrible.
Yeah, so we did talk a little bit about this earlier in the day. So yeah, let's talk about this again. It was odd. I don't mind them doing Twin Magic, but there's two things that bother me. But I'll save the obvious one for Nick. But the one thing that bothers me the most is that they still haven't defined whether or not they're good or bad. It's like every other week they switch. You know, to me, they're obviously the heels in this role because they did that to Paige. If they did that to Naomi, that's different. You know, that could easily, you know, toe that line a bit better. But it seems like they're the faces, yet now they're doing heel things, and just so annoying. But Nick, the obvious one, go ahead.
They look nothing alike anymore. It doesn't work. Like, I gave a pass to Xavier Woods stealing that pin over Team Uppercat because Cesaro was between Woods and the ref. So the ref assumed it was a legal member of the team.
Yeah.
Not only does Brie look nothing like Nikki anymore.
Different hair color, different weight. The weight difference is totally obvious.
Yeah, the outfits were not the same. And the ref commentary sold it as she ducked her head so the ref couldn't tell it was Nikki. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard out of commentary, and that's saying something.
Wait, I think they were wearing the same outfits, though.
They were wearing similar
They were
outfits.
the same designs, but one was shiny, one wasn't. There were different cuts. Like
one was shiny, one wasn't.
Brie was raising Nikki's hand after the match, right alongside the ref. The evidence of foul play was right there. And no red flags are raised. How stupid are we supposed to be to buy that? How stupid is the ref supposed to be to not pick up on that?
Why does the ref not watch the Titantron after the match, just in case he didn't miss anything? Once in a great while, they make that a factor in a match. Why not do it more often?
Yeah, and it's not like that was a long time ago. Like, just this Sunday, we had a match decision reversed because after the bell rang, the refs conversed. They decided the version of events that had happened, and they reversed the decision. Like, the evidence is clearly right there. It's not like Brie made the pin, then they both ran before anybody could tell that they pulled that stunt. Like, they just stood right there for God and the world to see.
But what you're asking for is like an automatic instant replay at the end of every match.
I'm asking for the ref to fucking look at what happened.
But like it makes sense for them to go back on a decision like that when there's two refs out there. But you know,
sure,
if for him to watch the Titantron, that's basically him looking for, you know, an instant replay. I think that would make it much more difficult to cheat in wrestling. You would need like an authority type character to make that call or something like that. Or to suggest that there was something going wrong.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe that could get referenced next week, or maybe even on SmackDown. Yeah, like you said, Garvin, it's obvious that they're turning heel now. And there is some gray area as far as face and heel moves. Like a back rake is technically considered the heel move, but Hulk Hogan did it all the time when he was a face. The twin magic thing started out as a face move because Brie was not up to the caliber of somebody like Victoria. So that was a way that she could win matches. Now, though, against a face, and you're clearly hoodwinking the ref. That's a heel move no matter how you cut it.
You're right. But they'll be faces next week because probably Naomi will, face them.
Yeah, because of fucking Bella's and I don't know. That really pissed me off for some reason. Yeah. Just the way commentary tried to sell that.
All right. Well, that is pretty much it. Any final thoughts before we head out?
No.
I'm about to have an aneurysm.
Okay. Well, that is going to be it for us. No uncut version today, just because there was really no other major wrestling news that took place. So, next week probably will, just because a good portion of the show will be previewing the special event that's happening. What is it? Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yes, sir.
Next week is our WWE Money in the Bank pre-show. So, we'll be spending a lot of our time on that, and everything else will be, moved to the side. So, and I don't think I have anything else either. So yeah, with that, it's time to say goodbye. We thank you guys for being here. Let's definitely continue the conversation on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you are. YouTube is actually turning out to be a great place to have conversations, to continue the talk on these topics that we covered today, especially on Fans Talk Lucha and Fans Talk TNA. It seems like within a few hours of the show going up on YouTube, there's already people commenting, talking back and forth, which is really good to see. So yeah, definitely FTPW. When you see this on YouTube, definitely throw your opinions up there. We want to hear them. And let's keep talking. Leave a rating and review if you're listening on iTunes or a service that allows you to do so. And definitely spread the word. For Joe, Nick, everyone in the live chat, we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Go Blackhawks.
Fuck you.
Go Cavs. Go Cavs. Yeah.